Alrighty. Now it's the fun thing of checking, hey, is it actually streaming or not? uh, does it? I don't I don't see no red dot. uh, what is this? Uh, I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. Yeah. Let's see. View your channel. I am live on YouTube. All right, that's good. I did find that YouTube is like 30 seconds behind Twitch somehow. Yeah, yeah. It's the same stream on both, but I haven't I honestly don't know. Um all I know is I set it up and it's okay. I should transition. Here we go. Uh wait, where's my Twitch? This is my Twitch. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you want to look me up, it's Berthor, Berthor on Twitch, and then on YouTube, it's jeez, EDH with Berthor, I think. I don't even remember my own channel. It's at EDH with Berthor, one one word or whatever. But yeah, if you look up EDH with Berthor, I think you'll should. Yeah, I'm the one with the dog face. Cool, cool. All right. Cool. You're on the internet forever. That's right. I got this Caster Labs. I gotta start that up. Uh, Still getting used to having to like start 12 different applications just to like stream and watch things happen. Hopefully, uh, if you do decide to subscribe, or whatever, hopefully I'll get a pop-up. And at least I hope. I don't know. I haven't tested that yet. That's the thing. Not that I saw, at least not yet. But hey, you said hi. I got that pop-up. Describing. Yeah, that's weird. I thought I set the thing up with Streamlabs, but who knows? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But like I said, it's like a weird half-hour delay or 30-second delay. But then in Twitch, it's like instant. It's weird. I guess. I think what it is, YouTube probably scrubs it a bit more to check for copyright material. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's weird. Okay. Um. All right. I see you there. Hopefully, the guys can join us soon. I can switch over to just Spelltable on the streaming services. So, how long you been playing for? Nice. Yeah. Uh huh. Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm. Oh no. Yeah, but of Commander, yeah. Yeah, but you, I mean, you've played Standard. It sounded like, and so nice. Yeah. So I mean, like you know the rules. You know the all the little stupid requirements and timing and all that stuff. So yeah. 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 Yep. Yep. From back in the day. Yep. Yep. Yeah, for the most part. For the most part. But but yeah, you got to be like a lawyer sometimes to really understand what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I found Arena to be a good learning tool. Um, but I would only leave it at that. I wouldn't like go ham into it. I know people like obviously make like, YouTube careers out of it. Um, and that's great for them, but like I can't see like your normal Joe Schmoes being able to kind of make those decks and play with them in Arena unless they've dumped a lot of money or have been playing since day one. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. If they wanted to get like good at it. Yeah, I mean Commander has its own like pitfalls too, right? You have some people who are like they like to play the salty decks and like they don't communicate that well. Um or like they like the Seal Club. And just like, yeah, it's not that bad of a deck. It doesn't go infinite and then like proceeds to go infinite. It's like, all right, really? Well, I mean, it's back in the day it was seal clubbing because you would literally take a club to a baby seal and club it, and like it's defenseless, right? So like newbie stomping, whatever, right? So um, but yeah, like they'll take a deck that's like highly tuned and like someone shows up with like a precon. It's like yeah, there's significant differences between the two, and like the one guy wants to win and he's playing like people who don't know what they're doing necessarily. They're just in it for the fun of it and the social aspect of it. And he's like, no, I'm here to win. I don't care. So I was like, ugh. Yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. The Lord of the Rings one. Nice, nice. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I go to two LGSs or bounce between two, depending on like the day of the week. And one LGS is small, let's say. So at most we'll have like 8 people playing Commander, so like you can get like 2 games going. But usually it's like 5 or 6. So usually like 1 or 2 people just kind of like sit around, wait for one game. They swap over, so 2 people come out, which is like not great. And at the other LGS, there's like 50 people playing. So it's like, yeah, yeah, and that's on like a Wednesday, and they also do Commander on Sundays. So it's like, all right, hey, there's 2 days a week I can go to this one LGS, and you know, the unfortunately I can't make it on Sundays, and then it's the one the first one was on Mondays, and I actually like that one better because it's a smaller, tighter knit group. You actually get to know those like 5 or 6 people really well. Where the other one, you're bouncing between tables, and if you're lucky, you get to play with those same people next week because maybe one guy's in this other table, depending on when people show up because people fire off games relatively often. But like once you sit down at that table, you're playing with those 4 people the whole night, and now that's kind of like okay, your variety is just what decks you pick. Like you're always gonna be in the same order. So that's why I kind of like Spelltable a little bit. There's a little bit like it's harder to do rule zero in a sense, just because you've never met people, you don't know what their rule zeros are. Um, and like I've got decks from like the pre-con to I have like one competitive deck that I like the rock every now and then. Just be like, okay, it can kind of hang with the big boys. It's not like the tier one deck, but I have most of the cards, so I built it. There's a few proxies in it because I don't plan on spending 5 grand for a land or whatever. The Gaia's Cradle. Right. What's his name? Said he's about 10 minutes, 5 minutes away, so he should be joining soon. And if anything, we can just do a three-man. 'Cause I'm not sure how to set this one up for open to the public. Oh no, change to public game. I see it. But I'm gonna be streaming, so I'd rather kind of be with the people in the Discord channels. At least it's hopefully, right? But yeah, I like Moxfield too, just because I can relatively easily make a deck and throw it in. Like I started trying to build the Hearth Hole. Uh yeah. Oh, I must be building it wrong because there's something like I'm not getting. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's what he does. Like he, when he's at the 8 station or whatever, any land he sacrifices deals 2 damage to each opponent. All right, so that's like how he kill. Like he basically cert mines himself and then kills the table that way. Um, and then you have things like the Mayhem Devil. Whenever a player sacrifices, it does it. There's like one other thing. Oh, this guy, Tanook. Yep, yep. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few of them. So here, uh, let's go type in tags. So like I've grouped mine into things that allow me to play multiple lands a turn. So I got 9 of those. I got 22 fetchable lands. I've Yep, they'll trigger and everything. Yep. Here are the things that allow me to play lands from the graveyard, effectively speaking. Right. So World Shaper and Aftermath Analyst, they're like one-time triggers, where the other ones just say you get to play from your graveyard. These five in the middle, and then things that you can do with landfall. Right. So like if you can get something that lets your lands come into play untapped, like Amulet of Vigor, Splunking, um, then yeah, it's basically sacrifice a land, gain 2 life. Right. So the other thing I hear is things I can sack my lands to, right? So I have a fog, constant mist. So it's 2 mana and then sacrifice a land to put it back into my hand. So it's like it's a better fog because it does what the deck wants to do, which is sack lands. Zern Orb just sacks lands. Sylvan Safekeeper also has a sack a land, do something. This Squandered Resources is another sack a land, get mana. So it's like a ramp kind of thing. And then, a couple other ways to do it. But like I said, like somehow the deck didn't seem like it was working for me on playtest or just generally playtesting. Um, so it's just like some synergies I'm just not queuing into quite right. So actually, if you guys don't mind, I might actually just try to play it against you guys because maybe it is better than they think it is, and I just don't realize it. Goldfishing it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think that tends to happen. Um, and that's the one thing about like the social aspect of Commander. It's sometimes you mistakenly get put in a king making position, and you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, and you're making yourself king. So, All right. Looks like it's probably just gonna be the three of us. Yeah, yeah, sure. No problem. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Doing all right, doing all right. Not sure how much of that you heard, but gonna try this Hearth Hole deck that I've built. Not sure how good it is. Hearth Hole, the World Seed, it's the new Precon guy, but I've upgraded it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I gotta try it out. It seems to at least goldfishing. It doesn't seem to do much. Doesn't have a great board presence or anything. So I kind of want to get some games in to see how it actually compares and interacts with people. Because I don't think I have too much interaction in the deck, which I think is a problem. Yeah, hey, hey. Gotcha. Yeah, let's see. What does Mock Shield consider this deck? Says it's a two. It's probably not. It's got like good cards in it, but there's no game changers. Or there's one in the sideboard. So I'm not gonna play it, but yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like 40 of them or something. Maybe 50. It's nothing to like stop you from doing anything. It's just um says, hey, if you're running this card, you're like upping your level of the deck. It's whatever BS thing. I honestly I don't think it helps too much or works too much. Yeah, me too. It gives more of a sense. Yay. I'm cool with that, but like I said, I'm just playtesting this stuff, so sorry. Yeah, gotcha. Um, oh yeah, wow. Well, if it's like to me, if the combo requires a decent amount of mana and like three cards or more, that's fine. You had to work for it. You had to get the cards. For it, generally speaking, it's hard. I try not to run with like tutor cards. If that makes sense. Because like if I'm running tutors and I'm tutoring for the same things every game, and the deck becomes boring, quote unquote, right? Um, sure the deck will win more. It'll run smoother, and maybe that's the thing that um, is tripping me up when I'm playing it. It's like I'm missing that quote unquote consistency, but it's like, but I'm also actively not putting in tutors to make it consistent, which is like clashing. Oh yeah. Oh man. Joe, for some reason, I can never get a card to read on your board. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Can you control the focus on the webcams or whatever? Normally they're pretty good. Yeah. I'm running Moxfield, so I mean like whatever. Yeah, the only thing would be like physically moving it closer, but that's obviously not going to work for you because it's on top of your monitor or TV, right? Yeah. Well, it's definitely adjusting the focus every now and then because I yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that should work. I mean, if, yeah, go figure. Anyways, we're not gonna solve the technical problems. Ooh, Gashath, right? Nice. The big boy. You know the dinosaur precon deck is actually pretty damn good. Like I was surprised how well that thing just moves off. Mm-hmm. Gotcha, gotcha. Hey, Amy or Ami, what would you like to go by? Ami. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I'll keep. Let me go randomize this. Let's say 3 times. Where is he? Randomize. So one. Did that not work? Two. There we go. Three. All right. Looks like I'm second. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I gotta work on my Liliana deck. That's the one deck that I'm going to put in tutors specifically because Liliana is in the artwork of the tutor. So like she's in demonic tutor. She's in a version of diabolic tutor. It's her and Chandra. Um, I'm gonna get the entomb that has her flavor text in it because like she has like a quote and it's like quoted to her. So I was like, I'm trying to get build the deck more and more into that theme, if you will. I have like 5 or 6 demons, 3 of which were the demons that she had a contract with as part of like the lore of the thing. I can't do the fourth one because it's banned in Commander. Yep, yep. Gristle Buddy. It's just too good. I need to get the Valgavoth for that deck. I think that'll be a pretty good one. The mono black. Well, Liliana is mono black, so I'm limited to what I can pick. So cool, cool. I'm keeping. Anyone have pre-game actions? Any ley lines or anything? All right, Joe, you're up. All right, I will draw. I will play a Misty Rainforest, tap and crack. I will lose a life. I will get I'll get a forest land, something with forest at least. Play exploration, and then with that I'll play a tapped blood crypt, and then pass a turn while I get that dual land, if you will. I never remember what it's called though. Urban Tomb, that's what it was. Uh, Lose and shuffle, so I'll lose another 2 life for that. Uh, hit. Yeah, and this is the reason why I play on Muxfield when I can. The shuffling kills me. That's why I stopped tutoring. That's why it's like there was this landfall deck that just scries a bunch and plays from the top as opposed to fetching. I need to build that one. Cool. I will go to my turn, untap upkeep. I will play uh is this Spire Garden. It's a green and red. Enters tapped unless I have 2 or more opponents. Second land for turn, I'll do a Twilight Mire. It's one of these filter lands. I will tap the 2 lands for Arcane Signet, and then with that Arcane Signet, I'll tap 3 for a uh, Braids Arisen Nightmare. Put her over here. Um, I will go to end step. I will sacrifice a this land here. Um, So you guys get to choose to sacrifice a land or lose to life and I draw a card. So I will draw 2 and I will pass the turn. Love to hear it. Nice. All right. I'll go to my turn. I will start by tapping out for my commander. Everyone's cool with that. All right. I will play a mountain and a forest for my 2 lands for turn for exploration. I will station for 3. So now Hearthhold can do its first ability, which is tap, sacrifice a land, and draw 2 cards. I get the additional land for turn. I will sack the mountain. I will draw 2. I'll play an additional land. I'll play this whatever bog, which is again another filter land. I'll tap the 2 filter lands. Let's see, he doesn't. Yeah. For a Nature's Lure, I'll find a forest and put it into the battlefield. And then with that, I will go to end step. I will sacrifice this tapped forest. You guys get to choose to lose 2 life, and I draw 2 cards, or you sacrifice a land. Assuming, yeah, assuming I'll draw 2 more cards, and then I will pass the turn. And summon Bahamut. Oh man. All right, go to my turn. I I think this is how it'll work, but I'm gonna play 2 lands for turn. Um, I will tap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for God Eternal Bantu. Menace, when he enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, I may put him into my library, 3rd from the top. With his enter the battlefield effect, Oh no, yeah, that won't work because this is at sorcery speed, not instant speed. Um, I will. I won't sacrifice anything. I will then station my guy for another 5. That'll put him at 8 counter. So now he's a 6/7 flying vigilance haste creature. Whenever I sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. I will go to combat. I'll swing the 6 at you, Ami, in the air. Right, and that's 6 commander damage. Um, I will tap 3. I'll cast Harrow. As additional cost to cast this, sacrifice a land. I'll sacrifice a forest, which will do 2 damage to each of you. Um, and then I'll look for 2 basic land cards, put them in the battlefield, then shuffle. Hope I have more. Let's see. I'll do a mountain and a forest. And then I'll tap 1, tap. I'll sacrifice a forest to draw 2, so that'll do another 2 damage to each of you. I have an additional land drop because of that. I will play this something hatchery from the newest set. Whenever this land is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, create a insect token. To get hatchling counters, I have to pay a life and tap this, then I'll add a black mana. So it kind of grows over time. And then I will go to end step. I will sacrifice another land, so do another 2 damage to you guys, and then you have a choice of sacrificing a land or losing 2 life. And then I will, assuming I'm drawing the 2 cards from each of you, and then I will pass the turn after that. So it's doing the thing, but you guys are like mana screwed. Yeah. Yeah. That was my end step trigger. Come on, Joe, let's get a land. Oh no. Oh, your deck's not working. Ugh. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just kind of playing it out right now. So I'll cast the Exploration Brood Ship and then station it so I can do an additional land, so that'll put me at 3 lands per turn. And then I'll cast this Escape to the Wilds, exile top 5 until next turn. Um, I may play those cards, and I get to play an additional land until end of turn. Oh, I'm just like seeing like what would happen in my next turn, and then is it really like bad? So like me casting this, would you do anything? It's basically just if I accrue 8, I can cast something from the graveyard, a permanent. Yeah, yeah, and I don't have any permanents other than lands. So uh, it's a permanent spell. It has to be a spell, so I can't play lands. I mean, you can kill it, you can counter it. It doesn't really. Hmm. Sure, it's dead. I will then, like I said, tap 5 for this Escape to the Wilds. 5 mana, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may play cards exiled this way until end of your next turn, and I may play additional land. So at the moment, I'm at 3 lands per turn. I already played 2. The 5 cards I'm exiling are Ashira, Soul of the Wild, Oracle of Moldiah, a swamp, and Horizon Explorer. Lands you control enter untapped whenever you attack a player, create a lander token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 mana. I will play the third land for turn, which is no second land for turn, swamp. I'll play the other swamp for third land for turn using the escapes ability. Um, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll play Ashara, Soul of the Wild. I have 2 left. These will stay in exile. Let's leave it over here for now to my next turn. I will proceed to go to combat. I will swing. I'll swing out at you, Ami. That's 5 menace, 6, 7 in the air, and then 3, 3 on the ground. Hmm. Gotcha. Hmm. The only enchantment you have is Sanctum Weaver, so you get a duplicate Sanctum Weaver, I guess. Yeah. Gotcha. Alright. I'll tap 1, tap Hearth Hole. I'll sacrifice a land. I'll get one of the swamps. Uh, drain you for 2, draw 2. Play 1 for a Soul Ring. Soul Ring, I'll play a Amulet of Vigor. And then my dude here is, how big is he? 11, 11. lands you control. Yeah, I have an 11/11 Ashara, and then yeah. Oh, it's only lands I control. Oh, because my creatures are yeah, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, yeah, he's 15, 15. Yeah, these two are not on the field at the moment. Yeah, doesn't have trample, so you can whatever soon. So all right. Oh yes, yes. I will sacrifice a. Oh wait, I have to lose 3 life from the hatchery. Oh my goodness, come on. What is going on? One, two, three. Stupid hatchery has 3 things. Oh, there's three. Yeah, I will sacrifice this hatchery. Um, so that when it dies, I'll create 3/1/1 black insect tokens. That is a land, so you will lose 2 life from that, and then do you lose another 2, or do you want to sacrifice a land? You have a lot of mana. You'll be able to do that. Bahamut. Yeah. Yep. So you'll sack. Okay. Alrighty. It's my turn. Well, fogs do that. No, the question is, are you able to sort of do anything till next turn? Sure, you'll have a lot of mana, but yeah. Joe, what are your thoughts on this so far? Is Hearthhold doing the thing, or is it just because you got unlucky with dinosaurs and Ami's kind of slowish? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It is call it? Black, red, green. Jund? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Well, it's funny because like Ashara's in here because of Quarian Ranger, so that I can activate Hearthhole constantly because it'll untap Hearthhole and it's a forest, so it's bouncing itself and then playing itself. It's weird. It's like some weird interaction that way, but hmm yeah, yeah. I mean, there's like Filth, the creature card. If it's in the graveyard, all your things get Swamp Walk. Brawn, I think it is. Yeah, yeah, that's good work. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, but like no one really interacted. We had the one fog, and then that was it, right? So it's like not quite. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Y- Yeah, yeah. You got anything to survive this? Well, each yeah. Well, each one of your Sanctum Weavers taps for what, 4 mana now? Yeah. So like you got you have Bahamut or whatever, right? I'm not sure what else you got. Hmm. And you do have the mana drain mana too. Yeah. Oh, what? Yep. Yeah, you could do some damage. Yeah, I guess you shouldn't have sacked that land, huh? Uh, it'll make it harder for me to recast and get it back up to 8, but uh, I have enough creatures to recrew it. Would Yep, yep, on my turn. Yeah, yeah, it's a 17/17. No. Yeah, it does. Yeah, when it gets 8, it has haste, flying, vigilance, and haste. So I have to put 8 counters on it, and then it can. But like the Bantu and the 3 insects will be able to crew it to 8, and then Ashara, whatever else, right? So depending on how I want to attack. Yeah, well, right now the only thing, two things that I can sack lands to is the ability when it gets to 2, and then at the end step. So at most it's 2 lands at the moment. Now maybe there's something I draw or whatever that changes that, but right now it's you're looking at 4 damage and then whatever combat gets through. At least again, what's on the field. Yeah, you have 16 mana to work with. So if anything, yeah, yeah, but the Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so the funny thing is, it is a because everything is a forest. Oh, but it's only when I sacrifice, not when I destroy. Yeah, it's so. Yeah, I was like, if I sacrifice one of my creatures, it'll trigger it. If they die in combat, it won't trigger. Because even though they are forced, they're not being sacked. Yeah. So I thought like, oh, if they're dying, then it's also going to trigger. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not what it says on the card. Well, you should only have one token actually, because it has to sacrifice itself at the beginning of the next end step. Oh yeah, because you flipped it on my turn. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. Yeah. Gotcha. 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 Yeah. Sure. And then use a floating one from Mana Drain. That's 9. All right. What are you targeting? Yeah, Ashara. Jaya. All right. I just have exploration. Yay. Braids and Earthhold right now. There's others in the deck. Yeah. Like I said, there are in the deck. I just haven't drawn them. And I've drawn a fair amount of cards already. Yeah. Bahamut is big too. Looks like it. Alrighty, I'll go to my turn. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Yeah, you skip it. You literally. Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna tap forward. I'm gonna play Oracle of Moldiah. So I'll play with I get an additional land per turn. I get to play with the top card of my library revealed, and I may play lands from the top of my library. Let's see. Base, Exploration, and Oracle. So that's three total. And then if I activate, I get a fourth for Hearth Hole. So I'll play the top, which is a land one. Top, which is a land two. What is this thing? Can't play it. All right. I'll tap two, three, four, and five. I'll play Corvald, the Fey Cursed King. When he enters, I sacrifice a permanent, and then whenever I sacrifice a permanent, I get a thingy. I had counter. I'll sacrifice one of the lands, which will trigger Hearth Hole, which will deal 2 damage to you. Uh, and now because I sacrifice a permanent, I put a counter and I draw a card. Um, yeah. I'll play a third land from turn from the top of my library with this Luxury Suite. I'll tap Luxury Suite. Uh, one and two more for a veto, an even though Bushraiser. Whenever I sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile top card of my library. During my turn, I may, as long as I sacrifice a non-token permanent this turn, I may play cards exiled with this creature, and he has a tap, sacrifice a land, add 2 mana. Yeah. I will tap. Oh wait. Yeah, it's fine. I'll tap and sacrifice this Dakmor Salvage to draw 2 cards, which will also trigger this exile effect. Um, and also the Faker's King. I'll do the Faker's King first. So I'll draw from that and put a counter. I'll exile the top with uh, the guy, which will be this Mayhem Devil. I will then draw 2 more. I get an additional land drop. I'll play said land. I'll play 1, 2, 3, 3. Here we go. For the Mayhem Devil. Let's see. All right. I will go to combat. He does not have haste. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I activated to draw a card. That's what caused you to lose the 2 life. Um, I will attack. How many flying things do you have? 3, it looks like. The Mughals and the Bahamut, right? And the Bahamut. Oh, jeez. Mm. Oh my goodness. Gotcha. All right. Gotcha. 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 All right. Gotcha. I'll swing. Do I swing? Sure, I'll swing Bonte at you, which is a 5/6 menace. Uh, and anything else? Nope. Menace. You can block with whatever you want. He goes third. He goes into my library third from the top. Oh, maybe. Eternal, God Eternal Bontu, Bontu. Yeah, yeah. Even if he gets exiled, he does that too. Yeah, death for both. Don't look like it. But I can get you close. So hold on. So you've taken 4 damage this turn, right? You've taken 2 from Corvold sacking a land and 2 from Hearthhole sacking a land, right? Yeah. Yeah, what's up? Mm-hmm. Correct. Um, so Corvold says whenever I sack anything, a permanent rather, I draw a card. It's a triggered ability, whereas Hearthhole is an activated ability. I tap one, tap, and sack a land, and then I do the next thing, which is draw 2 cards and I get an additional land. So uh, Corvold will draw a card and get a counter before I see the other 2 cards because it's triggering. Yep, correct. Nope, nope, nope. It's just Corvold just gets huge quickly. Yeah, yeah. You do have 2 Muggles on the ground. Correct. Manache. Yep. 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 You got it. You get however much power they are, like 1/2, so you get 2 life back. All right, cool. I will now go to end step. I will trigger braids. I will sacrifice this mountain. Do I get to draw 2 and you lose 2 life, or do you get to sacrifice a land? All right. When I sacrifice a land, Hearthhole and Mayhem Devil and Corval will all trigger. So you'll lose 3 life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mayhem Devil. Yeah. It'll do 3 damage. It's all about stacking in. Yeah, it's all about, and then this thing gets exiled forever. So I never played it. All right, so I have uh oh yeah, oh yeah. No, are you thinking of what, Scape Shift? Sack all my lands? Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the triggering of sacrificing is what matters right now. Uh yep. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. That's exactly true. Yep, yeah. Go ahead, Emmy. Thank you. Yeah, it tries to do 3 things. Ramp, um, play lands from the graveyard, and sack lands. That's it. Yeah. Join the dark side. Nice, nice. Yeah, see, now it's gonna get real hard because of all the things that it's gonna copy. Mm-hmm. Yep. A- And and then yeah, you can do that. Yeah, because you can put the token at any stage, right? Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Hmm. And what, do 9 damage to everything? Equal total mana of other permanents you control to each opponent. Yeah, you'll just gotcha. 14. that- Well, on the flip side, it doesn't have a CMC. Your Terra doesn't have a yeah. It 15s and then it dies, or you destroy stuff of mine, right? Really? Is that how it works? Yeah. Make it hit. If it's other, put up to 3 counters on it. Sacrifice. Interesting. Hmm. Learn something new every day. Nice. Yeah, it's definitely doing a thing right now. What, 3 things? Yeah. Which is nothing? Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Corval is a flyer. The dragon dude on my field. That's currently the only flyer I have, and it's a 4/7/7 right now because it has the 3 counters. Man, if only a Sharo was here, then everything would have been a land. Yeah. Well, the Corvold isn't I mean, the Corvold is allowing me to draw cards when I sack something. The Devil does additional damage when I sack something, and then Hearthhole is the one is a sacking and the thing draining life. So 2 things are draining your life, and then this guy here, this red guy, I can sack a land for 2 red mana, and they also like exile the top card, and I get to play something if I sack. So like they're all kind of individual sack outlets in a sense. Yeah. So the well, I've I have three sack outlets, and then two things that trigger when I sack something. Correct. Yeah. So Oracle lets me, yeah. But so Oracle Multi allows me to play with the top card of my library revealed, which is a swamp at the moment. Um, I get to play lands from the top of my library, and I get an additional land drop. Exploration just gives me an additional land drop. Amulet of Vigor says lands come into play untapped. I have a Soul Ring. I have an Arcane Signet. Bantu, which will not really do much if you kill it. It will come back. So essentially, yeah, I'll have to recast them and whatnot. So I mean, you'll definitely deal some damage. You'll definitely set the board back. Grades, okay. Whenever I sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of my library, and then as long as I sacrifice something, I get to play that until end of turn. Okay. And the other outlet is my commander. Those are the three outlets, if you will, at the moment that can sack lands. It needs 8 power, and Corvold is already at 7. 7. Yeah. Yeah, he's 4/4 with 3 +1/+1 counters. It's not the end of the world. Okay. All right, so Braids, the red guy, and Mayhem Devil. Okay. And they're in the graveyard. So I have 4 flying blockers, I have Corvold, and 3 insects. 16 damage. Okay. That'll put me at 18. 18. Yep. Yeah, it has to be a token, right? When you cast a non-creature spell, so it could be an artifact, you will create a token of a non-saga. Planeswalker, a non-creature. Yeah, a non-creature. As long as you cast a non-creature. So if you, I'm not sure. I know you sacked a land. Yeah, yeah. you're getting kind of low. See, and this is where Yavimaya or Urborg will actually hurt me if he were playing fetch lands. Hmm. Hmm. I have four flyers. I have these insects. They also fly. They're one ones, but they fly. They're also fodder. Mm. uh, yeah, yeah, but she also has power and toughness. It gets overridden. I have to look that up. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Terra Magical Adept. Were you looking to play the Starfield and Nyx? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering. Um, Yeah. All right. All right. So no combat. Just making sure. Alrighty. All right. I will play 2 lands per turn. I will tap, activate Hearthhold to sacrifice a land. I'll sacrifice a land. You'll take 2. I will draw 2, or sorry, I'll draw 1. Gotcha. Um, I'll draw 1 from Corville, and then I'll draw the 2. I'll tap 2 to play Squandered Resources, which allows me to just sacrifice lands, and then I'll sacrifice lands to kill you. Yeah, there was like no right answer essentially. Yeah, because the way, yeah, yeah, yeah. The other way potentially was I Eternal Witness back one of the cards in the graveyard, and then maybe a Shara, and then just kind of attack, and any of my creatures. No, that one because it's attack. I like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ye- Mhm. Yeah. If you had killed my commander and some of the other pieces, I had a blasphemous act in my hand to do 13 damage to everything. So that would have put set you all the way back. You had like 2 mana at that point. It was just a matter of time, I would imagine. But like I said, it's like a sorcery. I had the mana, I just didn't use it last turn. Just forgot about it. So like, oh, I could have done that because then you would have been on like 2 mana, and all your things would have been dead. Oh yeah, that would have wrecked me for sure. Cool. Yeah. All right, midnight. I got time for one more game. Cool. 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 Let Let me switch up decks. Let's see. Is Escape Shift in here? Yep. Yep. Escape Shift is in there. Yeah, it does. It does a lot of little things that like don't matter, but it just it just kind of kept going. Anyways, yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. I will try. Let's see. Are you doing Yarick, Joe? Okay. Amy, are you changing up decks or no? Hmm. Meh. I'm gonna try my Tribal Lily deck. It probably needs some work. That's fine. You can stick with it. All right. I will randomize again. One. 2 and 3. Hey, I'm last. Let me reset the game. All right, make sure to change your commanders. All right, cool. I will take a mulligan. I will take a second mulligan. 'Cause I need lands. All right. You know, Joe, I've seen you play a few times, and I've seen you get screwed a lot of times. I don't believe so. All right, I'll keep this one. I will. What will I bottom? I will bottom this card. Bottom. Okay, I got my 6. I'm telling you, I don't chance it. I'm mulligan that. You could be like Joe last turn, last game. Oh, take that chance. See, I know not to take those chances. Let's see it. Alrighty, off to the races we go. Yep. Yep. Your deck is heartless. What can I say? Yep. You said planes? Oh, okay. I was like, I heard planes. I'm like, wait, he runs blue. All right. Uh, all right. I will play a swamp and pass the turn. Yeah. I told you. I told you to mulligan. There you go. All right. You're not discard. Alright, we got a Phyrexian Arena, a Gravespawn Sovereign, and a Command the Dreadhorde. Alrighty. I will play an Ancient Tomb, a game changer according to the rules. I will lose 2 life and tap for a Ashnod's Altar. Sacrifice a creature, gain 2 colorless mana. Now I'll pass the turn. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, you're on curve. You got 3 mana again. See, I could have been mean, and I could have played a flashback marauder and wiped the board. Everyone sacrifices a creature. That I was like, no, I don't want to kill you. You're ramping without lands. Yep. Yeah. Land, land, land. There you go. All right. I will play a land. Uh, I will tap out. I'll lose 2 more life. I will play Liliana Planeswalker. I will play the of Liliana of the Dark Realms. I will uptick um to search for a swamp. Uh, Set loyalty counter to 4, and then I will pass the turn. Library swamp. Close library and into hand. Oh man. Hey Joe, did Daniel get back from Vegas or no? Oh, Washington. Oh, okay. I thought he went to Vegas for some reason. Ah, when's he getting back? Ah, I don't. I have a Planeswalker. I was gonna say, yeah. Or your creatures have to just be larger than that. Swamp, Maze of Ith, and Necromancy are the three going in the graveyard. Anything else? Gotcha. Yay! Two more land drops. Uh-oh. Alrighty. On tap, upkeep, draw. I will play land. I will uptick Liliana. I will get a swamp into hand. Um, I will tap 1, 2, and 3. I will cast my commander 2/3 lifelink. Whenever a non-token creature I control dies, I exile her, flip her into a planeswalker, and create a 2/2 zombie. I will pass the turn. Uh, are you swinging at me or my planeswalker? I do have a planeswalker. But if you swing at my planeswalker, yeah, if you swing at my planeswalker, you will not get the Buster Sword trigger. Uh, I will take 6 damage. No blocks. Nice. You have two red. Yeah. So you would discard your hand, draw two. Yeah. Wow. Nice. A literal body of damage. Alrighty. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a swamp. Let's see, what does this do? I will tap three for a headless rider. Whenever a headless rider or another non-token zombie I control dies, I create a black 2/2 zombie creature token. I will tap and lose 2 life from Ancient Tomb, killing myself that much faster. I will play Flashback Marauder, which says everyone sacrifices the creature they control. You pick which one. This will flip my Lily. I mean, who you sacrificing? You sacrificing your ramp or your? So sounds like alrighty. And I'm gonna sacrifice the Flashback Marauder. Uh, yeah. That'll yeah. With that sack, that'll trigger both the Headless Rider and my Planeswalker. So I'll create two zombies. Regular two zombies. Um, I will uptick this Lily by adds 2 counters. Each player discards a card. Uh, I will discard this Homeward Path. That's a good card. Spear safety. Okay. And then yeah. Um, and then I'll uptick this Liliana, and I will get a swamp from my library. And then I will pass the turn, nice and slow. All right, you're up on me. Oh, interesting. So the CMC of Terra when she slips still has the same CMC, but it's not devotion. So I guess Starfield the Nyx would keep it a creature, but it would be 3 instead of the 5 or whatever. Be able to cast an 8-drop for free? Ugh. But if he blocks, I would assume he would draw 8 cards, and I think Joe would probably much rather do that, is my guess. Yep. Uh, w- yeah. So well, it would deal the damage. The draw triggers would go on the stack, but the damage would resolve. It would die from life loss, being less than 0. That's my interpretation of it. I can let me view on gather. Let me see what it says. Yeah. So okay. So creatures. Yeah. So you will still draw however many cards, but it would still have received lethal damage before that, and so it will still die, meaning that it won't raise the toughness in time to save it. But you'll draw the 8 cards. Yeah, that's what it says on the Gatherer. You can equip it to the bird. You deal 3 damage or something. Okay. I do not. No one has flyers, but you know. Alright. Yep. Hmm. You can choose 0. Yep. Yeah. However many you discard. Yeah. However many you discard is how many you draw. So it's 0, 1, or 2 cards. That's your decision. It's like fair magic. Passing. All right. I'll go to my turn. I'll draw for turn. Um, so one of my personal goals always is to ultimate a planeswalker. I I have an emblem now. Uh, and token. Yeah. Well, my doesn't. Yeah. So whatever. This one I'll just set off to the side here. All my swamps tap for 4 black mana. Yeah. So I've quote unquote ramped. um, see what I have. Turn target. What's that? Oh, 6. Okay, yeah. I'll have everyone discard a card. Add loyalty. Add loyalty. So she's at 7 of 8. I will discard this Cabal Stronghold. Nice. All right. I will play a swamp for turn. So I have 5 swamps. That's 22 mana to work with. I will cast Final Parting for 5. So I'll float 3. So I will tutor for 2 cards. I'll put 1 into the graveyard and 1 into my hand. Let's see. Probably should have thought about what 2 cards I wanted to put in. Sorry guys, 1 second, just looking through the deck. Dang it, where is it? Well, Gravecrawler put in the graveyard, because why not? And then I'll put this card into my hand. I'll tap 2 colorless, lose 2 more life, and use 2 of the black mana to cast Aetherflux Reservoir. And then I will, let's see, that's 4, 8, 12, that's 13 mana. 13. I will cast Gravecrawler from the graveyard. using one of the mana, and then I'll gain one for Final Parting, two for Aether Flux. This is third. So this is the third cast, so I'm gonna gain 3 life from Gravecrawler because now the Aether Flux is on. Joe, I see you tapping mana for something. Oh, okay. So I gotta back up. Gotcha, gotcha. All right, that's in the grave then. Let me untap that. Yeah. Hold on, hold on. Gotta go back down. No, 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 no. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I will tap 5 and use the last one. I will cast Sidisi Undead Vizier. I will exploit one of the tokens. So that's another tutor. When this creature enters, well, so okay, before it enters, it's being cast. Well, exploit would be when it enters the battlefield. So all right, so it's enter the battlefield, exploit trigger. I'm going to sack as a cost the token, unless you want to respond to the exploit trigger. Yeah. So the exploit trigger's on the stack. Good. All right, so I'll sack the token. Go back digging. Let's see. Uh, I guess I'll get this thing. Close library. Um, I will use. I will sack a zombie to Ashnod and use 1 black, so I'll have 3 black remaining. I will cast Plague Belcher. When Plague Belcher enters the battlefield, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature I control. I'll put it on himself. So I'll set the power to, it's a 3/2. Everyone cool with that? All right. Uh, so I put 2 -1/- creatures on a creature I control, and then whenever a zombie I control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. All right, I will proceed to tap 4 more, so it's 8 total mana. I will cast the Grave Crawler from my graveyard. Oh, sure. Well, I get it. It goes onto the stack before it enters. Okay. It enters. It does not trigger any ETBs, so you do not have priority at this point. I'm going to sacrifice it for mana to Ashnod's Altar, so it'll go to the graveyard. Uh, I can only do it 8 times, so that was the first of 8. But it will also, Yeah, but also whenever another non-token zombie I control dies, I create a 2/2 zombie. So I'll create when I sacrifice it, I'll create a zombie. Well, it's sacrificed, but yeah, you can, depending on what the spell is. You can do that. Um, yeah, yeah, yep. Um, yeah, yep, yep. All right, Plague Belcher dies. Correct. uh, a little bit, yeah. Um, well, then I'll recast from the graveyard. Hmm. I'll do that 6 more times, 7 more times, so that I end up with 8 tokens or 7 tokens and the uh making more of them. Yep. Yeah, and that'll be my turn. Yep. All right, Ami. Kill us all. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it got reprinted a few times. Yeah, really recently. Yeah, it's somewhat of a broken ability for sure, and so easy to trigger. It's one. I have seven 2/2s. The Headless Rider, the guy with the moon in the background, the 3/1. You should be able to double click it. It should pop up. Yep. Yep. That'll do a lot of damage. The Ashnod's Altar, this artifact at the left here. At one point it was low, but then I think it shot back up. It is, yeah. Not so much Ashnod's Altar, more Phyrexian Altar. The one that so this produces 2 colorless. The other one produces colored mana when you sacrifice a creature. They're both 3 CMC. Um, but from what I've seen, um, actually, I'm trying to think about it. I think it's just used in high power decks, not in CDH decks, because it's too slow at 3 CMC to cast that and kind of do nothing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It used to be a boogeyman, right? Because there are a bunch of like combos that it'll loop with the mana. Yeah, until end of turn, and then I'll get back. Um, when Headless Rider dies, he'll create a 2/2 zombie, and the rest will go in the graveyard. So I have a 4/6 Death Touch, a 2/2, and a 2/1 that can't block. The Gravecrawler cannot block. You can only attack. I do have a 2/2 and a 4/6. He's got Death Touch, so it depends on what you attack with. Well, yeah. Uh, Zombies don't fly. Yeah, it's an Amonkhet had that one guy that says tokens you control have flying. A mass one. Yeah. He's got the body of knowledge feature. It'll draw that many cards. Yeah, correct. It does not fly. So you can attack anyone with the bird. Nice. 3/3s, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. All right. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will. Uh, Let's see. How do I want to do that? Yeah. I will tap 4. I have 3 remaining. I'll cast Midnight Reaper. Whenever non-token creature you control dies, I will take 1 damage and draw a card. I will sack Gravecrawler to the thing. I'll draw a card. I'll lose a life. With the 1 floating mana, I will recast and do it again. I'll sack him. I'll yeah. The other guy. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. All right. I'll tap 4. Uh, I'll use 2 of it to cast this Waste Not. This is whenever an opponent discards a creature card, I'll create a 2/2 zombie. Whenever you discard a land card, I'll create 2 black. Whenever you discard a non-creature, non-land, I will draw a card. I will uptake Liliana to have everyone discard a card. So I get a 2/2 zombie. Is that a creature, right? So I get another zombie. So I have 2 extra zombies. With the last 2 floating, I'll recast Gravecrawler and sack it. Draw a card and lose another life. Go down. I will. I have 1 floating. I will tap 4, so I'll continue to have 1 floating. I'll play this Gravedigger. Gravedigger comes to play. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Uh, I guess I'll do that. Try to do that dude again. The Plague Belcher to my hand. I'll play a land for turn. I'll play him again, so I have 2 floating black. Oh, you exiled it. Okay. Then, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So then I will get a different zombie. I'll get the. No, use it the. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I'll get the Gray Spawn Sovereign. Um, I still have the. What is the head? 4/1. So I'll have 7 floating. Oh no, I'll have 3 floating. I'll cast this Grave Spawn Sovereign. His ability is tap 5, untap zombies you control, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under my control. What big scary creatures do you guys have in your graveyard? Didn't you just discard one? Dauthi Voidwalker, right? Anything going in the graveyard goes under him instead. It can be scary. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay, next. Nope. Next. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's not that good. Um, For me at least. For me, yeah. Um, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Titan. Mill 5, turn all land cards, 7/7 reach trample. It does reach and trample. Okay. Uh, so for now, I'm gonna tap 5. Actually, I'll do that guy. 5 zombies I control. I will resurrect the Headless Rider on my field. Um, and then 3 floating still. Where is he? I will cast and sack 3 more times, which will create 3 more zombie tokens that are untapped. This is in graveyard. I'll do that 4 more times, so I'll have 2, 3, 4 here. So I have too many zombies. That's what the deck does. I have 7 untapped zombies, tokens that is. Um, I'll play a high market land for turn, and then I will pass the turn. I did not play any flyers. I have 2 colorless mana from Ancient Tomb and 1 from High Market, and then every creature I sack, I can also generate more colorless mana. I have a whole bunch of colorless mana available to me. In total, uh, there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 at the moment. Nope. They get summoning sickness, just like every other creature. I've, yeah, I've, with that on the stack, when you before you mill, because I don't have a chance when you milling. Um, I'm gonna tap 5 zombies, and I'm gonna get your Summon Titan guy out of your graveyard. Yep, yep. Then I will mill 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And what is in the graveyard? He's in the graveyard. What were the creatures? No, no, the things you're milling, just to see what they are. From a Nixia, NY? Okay, okay. And what's the other one? That got it, got it, got it. Okay. I will certainly try. Yeah. I have 5 more zombies that I can tap. I have 2 tokens and then these 3 guys on top. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. Any damage it deals, correct. If it deals damage, you'll gain life. However much damage your creatures deal, that's how much life. and there is a way around that, which is I declare a blocker, and because they don't have trample, I can sack the blocker before damage is dealt. Therefore, your creature deals no damage. So there are ways around stopping lifelink. Fun, huh? uh, I have the one guy with reach. That's the only one. All right. Um, I will. Uh, I will first. Do I do that? If I block, you gain 8 life. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just block. He dies. All right. On your end step, I will tap one out. Ash Baron land cycle to search for a swamp. View library. Get a swamp into my hand. And then also I will tap the remaining 5 zombies I have to get the Summon Titan back, milling another 5. Uh, Liliana's Mastery, Night's Whisper, Swamp, Nixos, and Rise of the Dark Realms, which would have been nice. And then I'll go to my turn. Untap, upkeep, draw, which will trigger phase 2. So I will then return all lands from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I will do that in 1 second. Let's make sure I go through. Man, so many. All right, need to go back in. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, they're tapped, and these 8 lands. Shoot. Tap, 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 tap. And there's a Bajuka Bog in there. Joe, I'll target your graveyard. Um, so now, what is this one? Okay. All right, I will ultimate my other Lily now. Whenever a creature dies, return to the battlefield under my control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh man. Sorry, Joe, to hear that. Oh, oof. Yeah, at this point, what I would have done is I would have resurrected the Fleshbag Marauder a few times, which would have Yeah. Well, maybe not lethal, but it would kill one. It would kill a few, but they would come into the field under my control at the end step, and then it would like I would just kind of keep doing that, so you wouldn't be able to keep creatures, and then eventually attack in for the win. Yeah. So the emblem says whenever a creature dies, return to the battlefield under my control at the beginning of the next end step. So anything you sack would come under my control at the end step. So like I said, I yeah, or first or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't matter which one you sack. It would come under my control at the beginning of the next end step, and then I would choose the order in which they would come in. So on my end step, I would get them. And then the next end step, or then if you had any creatures, I would have to choose that, and then so on and so forth. But like I said, it's pretty much in the bag, I think, at this point. Well, so I'll just play it out, right? Um, I will tap. Well, first I will tap 4, 8. I'll tap 8, and I'll cast the Gravecrawler uh, from my graveyard 8 times, and I'll sack it 8 times, so I'll get 8 tokens. I'll also draw 8 cards and lose 8 life from Midnight Reaper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Um, I will then let's see. Since I have all that, uh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a shit ton of colorless mana. I have friction. Uh, no, but at this point I'll tap 4 more. I'll cast Beseech the Mirror. I'll tutor for a card. Let's see, view library. Hold on, let me make sure I hit that win. Do I have something that can win? Uh, I could do that. Possibly do that. Sorry guys, it's trying to get this to go off so we can. Oh, here we go. I could do this guy. I'll get this card. I'll tap 1, 2. So I'll have 3 floating, or actually no. I'll have 2 black floating. I'll cast Noxious Ghoul. When he enters the battlefield, all non-zombies get -1/-1 until end of turn for each zombie that comes in. I'll then sacrifice the Midnight Reaper to itself for 2 more black. I'll then present the loop of sacking Gravecrawler to Phyrexian Altar for a black to then recast it from the graveyard. Noxious all yeah, yeah, all and also the token that gets created. So every time I do this, all non-zombies get -2, -2. So your board will die, and then I attack with everything else that I have. So okay, so the ones that are coming in are have summoning stick, but the ones that I have on the field can attack. So essentially, I don't have lethal this turn, but you don't have any creatures. And then when, yeah, well, they're all gonna die regardless. So it does. I don't have to do the flashback. They're all dead, and they're gonna come back on my end step. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will kill some of the creatures on the board, but I can just rebuild it again. If you yep, sure. Yeah, yeah. Noxious Ghoul will still stay out again. Yeah. So I essentially can just keep your board uh dead at all times. So you essentially have nothing to do. And then at some point I'll find I can always get another whatchamacallit thing that when it dies it deals the damage. Eventually I'll draw into it. Is the way I see it. On a separate turn, if you want, we can continue to play it out. I'm fine with that because remind you, all my creatures, all my non-token creatures will also come back that died. I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, all my swamps tap for 4, and nix those, and yeah, I have 2 emblems, so anything that dies will come under my control. Like I said, it's kind of one of this like, it's inevitable. I'm just gonna throw up on the board every time. Yeah, and the problem is I have free stack outlets, so I can always avoid, and then they come back in the next end step. You could do that. Yeah, I do have more in the deck. It's just these are the kind of most powerful 2. But yeah, sure, sure. Yeah. But yeah, so what I would do, I would resurrect the Flashback Marauder, so every time it dies, it'll come back on the next end step, every single turn. And and I'll keep killing something of yours, and then I'll get both of those, and then I'll get again over and over and over again. You choose what gets stacked. Yeah. So you have to sacrifice something, and so every time it'll do that. Almost, yeah. Yeah, with Fleshbag, Phyrexian Altar, I have infinite sack and casts from the graveyard. So that means that my Noxious Ghoul will make everything negative infinite, negative infinite. I'll have infinite 2/2 zombies with Headless Rider. And then with the zombies, I can tap 5 and resurrect something directly from the graveyard at instant speed. So I can essentially grab anything from any creature from anyone's graveyard essentially. Assuming I have 5 untapped zombies or more. So like I said, for the most part, it's pretty much a done deal. Like I said, we could definitely walk through it, but it's like 1:15 in the morning, and I gotta go to bed. Liliana, Heretical Healer. Yeah, the flip lily. Yeah, Flip Lily, Baby Lily, yeah. I think that's where she's from originally. Yeah. Yeah. It can be slow, but then, like you said, it kind of just goes if you get the right cards. I've added Beseech the Mirror and um Diabolic, Demonic Tutor, or what the 2 mana one. Let's see, view library. Demonic, Demonic, yeah. So here's Lily in the mirror, and here's Lily with Kothaped. So it's like, all right, yeah, nope, they got to go in the deck now. I don't know if she's in a boat, but she's like leaning back against Kothaped. Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah, yeah. It would bounce everything back, and then I would just recast everything. Yeah. The best thing actually to screw this deck over is um the guy you had that exiles when it dies. Yeah, yeah. Those cards basically uh, screw this thing up. Oh, nice. It gets there. Like it's got some decent combos. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that because that usually doesn't come up all that often, honestly. So like the it has killed me twice actually. Um, and it was what's that worm? When it comes in, it deals -2 minus. It gives all creatures -2/-2 until end of turn. Yeah, and then if a creature dies, it um deals 2 damage to them. That's what I had like. I said, oh, I'm gonna make a Googleplex zombies, and then I attacked. And the guy's like, okay, I'm gonna create a clone of the massacre worm that was already on the field. I'm like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Nice. Cool, cool. Yeah, so here's like the fun things. Like if you look at the deck, right? So I have a few planeswalkers because you kind of need to. Um, it's funny. Gravecrawler has a quote from Liliana, so it's like, yep, I have to use it. It's got a quote. But there's a few of them, but like like the new ones don't have it. Um, and they change. So like the older ones do have a quote from Liliana Vess. So I was like, all right, perfect. That's the one I'm using. Yeah, yeah. But usually this deck kind of wins by stopping you from having creatures. So like a Curse Marauder, Fleshbag Marauder, At one point, I was running like 5 versions of that type of card, and it's like, okay, that's too many. Um, but Grayspawn Sovereign bringing things back at instant speed. Noxious Ghoul basically it board wipes on a zombie stick. Um, Reanimate has a quote from Lily. Demonic and um, Beseech and Diabolic all have her as the art. Mutilate, which has her quote from Lily. So like most of the cards actually have quotes from Lily's or has something to do with Lily. Like this Entomb is the only one that has a quote from Lily in it. So I have to buy this for this deck. So I can actually run a Tomb now to get Gravecaller into the graveyard. Snuff Out, which is one of my free interactions to kill something that's not black if I have a swamp. But it's like it's got her in the art, so it's like perfect. Um, I have Darkness, which is a black fog, which totally throws people for a loop, which is hilarious. Yeah, there's a black fog. It's called Darkness. Imp's Mischief is the redirect spell. So if they're trying to kill Lily or one of my planeswalkers or something, I can redirect it somewhere else. I have a counter creature spell, Withering Boon in black. So I can actually counter someone's commander. Um, Sudden Spoiling is a great combat trick as well. Um, Oubliette is also a really good one because that forces commanders not to go back to the command zone and it removes them. They phase out until this leaves the field. So it's like a better O-ring, Oblivion Ring. Yeah, and that's kind of the deck, right? But some the combos are Bolus's Citadel, Ether Flux, and Sensei's Divining Top, right? So you just infinitely cast Sensei's Top from the top of your library, and then you have enough life gained from Ether Flux to shoot to laser everyone. Um, the other one is basically with Gravecrawler. Yeah, yeah, Gravecrawler. Well, Gravecrawler with Phyrexian Altar, so you can recast it. Also works. But then with constantly casting Gravecaller, yeah, but you lose life every time you do that, which is the only problem. And this deck already loses a lot of life. Um, so like the Headless Rider, the Diagraph, Colossus create infinite 2/2 zombies when I do the Gravecrawler loop. Plague Belcher does the life loss. He's not on the list because he's not a zombie. Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of goes against the whole like Liliana. Rise of the Dark Realms has Lily in the art, so it's like I have to get it. Um, Settle the Score is a good way to exile a creature and put loyalty counters on the Planeswalker, and has Lily on the art, so it's like, oh, this is just perfect. So all these little things like all add up to like make the deck work. It can definitely stumble, and it has in the past, but it's a fun little deck. Like it's got a couple. Mhm. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's yeah. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but the deck the fastest way this deck kills itself is with Undead Augur or Midnight Reaper, which is when a thing of yours dies, draw a card and lose a life. So, like everything I have loses life. I don't have a way to gain life except for Etherflux. That's well, yeah, yeah. The multicasting of Aetherflux is the only thing that I have that adds life, I think. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I actually took all the demons out of this deck. My physical copy of this deck has demons in it because I'm running the Liliana's contract. If at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 demons with different names, you win the game. Yeah, sure. The black mana, yeah. Yeah, like if I really wanted this, what was that, Joe? Hmm. War the Spark? That one? Oh, okay. Mm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's it. You choose a color whenever you cast a color, you gain a life. But I'm not about gaining life in this deck. Right. Generally speaking, I'm gonna kill you before that happens. That's the goal at least. Um, Command the Dreadhorde also kills me. So I choose any number of creatures or planeswalkers from all decks and put them into field under my control, and then I lose life equal to CMC. That one's a, that one's fun to bring back the planeswalkers essentially. Yeah, yeah. I have an Italian. I have 2 Italian versions. It was only printed in that set, Legends or something. Darkness. There's no other fogs in mono black. There are other like feature fogs and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a couple like interactions that like you're like, wait, black has that? I'm like, yeah, black has everything. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All the fun things. Cool. All right, guys. Well, it was good 2 games. Thank you much. Thanks for joining the stream and like, comment, and subscribe, right? As they say. There you go. Awesome. Thanks.